For Atal Setu, let me say that the cracks that have developed are on a side road, not on the main bridge. Obviously, there are concerns. Any crack would be a concern, particularly during monsoon. Yes, there have been leakages during the at parts of the Ram Mandir. Abysmal condition also of Ayodhya's new roads. They've also got into waterlogging. Jabalpur airport has collapsed. We had the Pragati Maidan tunnel submerging. I mentioned 13 new bridges falling down in Bihar. We, of course, had the tragic Morbi bridge collapse. But, you know, the instinctive reaction Salman shows, ma'am, just a minute. The instinctive reaction Salman shows is to suggest that this is criminal negligence on part of the Modi government. You'll recall, it's not the first time that we've had these kind of infrastructure collapses. You all were in power for 10 years. There were occasions then when we've had similar infrastructure collapses. This instinctive tendency to call it criminal negligence and corruption and blame the government. Here the private operator, for example, in T1 is primarily responsible. It's his responsibility to ensure maintenance. They get paid a huge amount in terms of user fees by airport passengers, more than 1,000 crores a year.
Rajdeep, first of all, today it was a big tragedy. You know, all of us use this airport. You do it, and I'm sure others on the panel do it. It could have been any one of us. I think it's a great tragedy for this family that they've lost a family member. You know, it's heartbreaking. But you know, yes, there is compensation, etc. But the real thing is there has to be accountability. We have to ask questions. We have to ask how these things happen. We cannot blame Pandit Nehru for all these things. I know the BJP spokesperson...
No, but how can you blame Narendra Modi also? You can't blame Pandit Nehru, but can we blame Narendra Modi every time there is a collapse?
Let me come to that. So when the government is in place, you have to ask, this institution is part of the central government's regulatory preview. Mm-hmm. This is not a private shop or something. Yes, there can be contracts to the private sector, but ultimately there's a regulatory authority, which is the government of India in this particular case. Something has happened, we need answers. And it's not shameful to ask questions, right? These are very serious things. My colleague from the Aam Aadmi Party raises one very important question. When we talk about infrastructure, you know, we make big announcements. Like Prime Minister Modi announced that there would be 100 smart cities. By 2000, he said in the first 5 years, there'll be 100 smart cities. I don't know how many smart cities we have in India, but this does not give you confidence when you have something like this happening in the national capital. Now, are we politicizing these things in the sense that you have Netaji aa rahe hain, they're going to do some sort of an inauguration, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. And I think we have some examples here. And it's fair to say the Jabalpur airport, just 3 months back, it was inaugurated by the Prime Minister. That roof has collapsed. This particular canopy is part of it's a new canopy, not part of the old structure, which, by the way, did bend but did not collapse.
Okay.
And then we know the Ram Mandir case, we know the Pragati Maidan case. So these things are there. So these are, you know, the government.
Okay,
let me just finish.
Let her respond. Both of you.
Give me 10 seconds.
Both of you have made.
Finish.
Yeah, go ahead. Finish up. Finish
10
up.
seconds. So I'm just saying that yes, these are there, and the government has to answer. There is no question about that. Now, what should India be doing anyway in the long term? Look, climate change is a reality. Climate change is a reality. We cannot fight all the time. Our whole infrastructure ideology is very old. We need to work with nature. Otherwise, we are not going to be. These things are going to get worse.
Okay.
So we need new thinking about construction design.
That's hopefully a bipartisan issue of working with nature. It's not just about a political party. But Sanju Verma, both the other opposition parties are saying there's this haste and speed to put up projects at the earliest. Yes, the government in the last 10 years can claim justifiably that many projects that were held up have been fast forwarded. Atal Setu is a good example of a project that got fast forwarded. The worry is sometimes is there the rush to finish something and showcase it without it being fully complete. The Pragati Maidan tunnel, many believe, which got submerged, is an example of that. Is there that concern or not?
Rajdeep Sardesai, I first want to ask your cameraman or your producer to not mute me, because 2 minutes back you said put her fader down. It's very insulting when each time the
BJP... you cannot speak over someone else. I have decided that. I will tell them the same thing. I will put their fader down if they speak over you, but go ahead. Please go ahead.
Do that.
I will do
don't
it.
need your lectures. If you want to be treated with respect,
No, ma'am. Again, you're getting into a situation which makes things uncomfortable for the viewer.
I want to speak now.
Is it so difficult to answer a question? I asked you a simple question. They made a charge. Respond to it.
I will answer. I also noticed one thing, and your audience, Rajdeep Sardesai's audience, please realize and notice. He talks about level playing field. He has two people from the opposition. He did not interject them. He has only one from the BJP, and he keeps interjecting her. Now let me answer your question. With data, I will answer. There has been an infrastructure boom under the Narendra Modi government. Gorakhpur Link Expressway, Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor, Chennai Metro, Chennai-Mysore Rail Corridor, Coimbatore Metro, Pune Metro, Nagpur Metro, Versova-Bandra Sea Link, Bogibeel Bridge, Bhupen Hazarika Setu, Atal Tunnel, Atal Setu, Chena Bridge, Bundelkhand Expressway, Balia Link Expressway, Meerut Delhi RRTS Corridor, Ganga Expressway, which has kick-started, Noida International Airport, so on and so forth. So Modi government in 10 years has done what Congress could not do in 6 decades that it was in power. Pehla point to ye hai. Second point, the Congress, I always say, a great leader is somebody who does not build flaky castles in the air. He matches his grandiose vision with seamless execution. Congress started the Bogibeel Bridge, left it incomplete. Congress started the Bhupen Hazarika Setu, left it incomplete. Congress started the Chena Bridge, left it incomplete. Congress started the Mumbai Trans-Harbour Link, left it incomplete. Congress started the Bangalore.
They are claiming that you're completing them, but often doing them in a rush.
Now my last point is this. To the Aam Aadmi Party, and this I don't want to be interrupted. 2016, Delhi was grappling with dengue. Arvind Kejriwal was getting his throat treated for a minor throat infection at the Jindal Nature Care in Bengaluru. Last year when there were floods, between Atishi and Saurabh Bhardwaj, they handled more than a dozen ministries. Saurabh Bhardwaj said, हमसे ना हो पाएगा जी, ये हमारी गलती नहीं है, ये तो LG की गलती है, whereas water, health, sanitation, PWD come under Arvind Kejriwal, not under LG. When Punjab was not under Aam Aadmi Party, each time there was parali burning in winters, ये कहते थे भाई हमसे ना हो पाएगा, दिल्ली में केजरीवाल को क्यों गलत ठहरा रहे हो, ये तो पंजाब की गलती है. Now since Bhagwant Mann of the Aam Aadmi Party is in power, अभी पराली burning का सारा दोष उत्तर प्रदेश को दिया जाता है. Today when Delhi is grappling with water scarcity, Kejriwal says हमसे ना हो पाएगा जी, ये हमारा दोष नहीं है, हरियाणा वालों को दोषी ठहराओ. And I want to ask you, Rajdeep, the last point. You always tell me take my tough questions. Today, when Delhi is grappling with water scarcity, Atishi is more busy कि BP ऊपर गया या नीचे गया, ketone level ऊपर गया या नीचे गया.
Okay, you made all your points. Okay, producer, I am going to put the fader down because there's a time limit. Salman Soz, you are listening and you're putting a hand up. You want to respond? Let's be clear. The Modi government in the last 10 years can claim they've handled a lot of big ticket projects. We are singling out a few where maybe the button was pushed too fast without it being fully prepared. Some say with an eye on elections. But either way, that's an infrastructure push.
Rajdeep, we can list infrastructure projects, and that doesn't really do justice to the topic because there are hundreds of thousands of bridges and roads and other things that have been created. These guys don't know it because they're not good students of history. But I don't want to talk about them. The question is, what is the philosophy that is driving this government? You talk about these big ticket items. Mm-hmm. The question is, what kind of development is this? Is this really supporting the average person? Let's take railways, for example. Every time we have the Prime Minister going and Vande Bharat Express nikal diya. We inaugurated a Vande Bharat Express. And Rajiv, you must have seen yourself. The audience sees every day. There are videos upon videos going viral of how there are people crammed into our trains these days. Crammed, literally crammed, because there's no capacity. Okay. Because they keep talking about, they have this propaganda machinery about how they're doing so world-class stuff, but for very few people, much of the country is suffering because these guys have a very old kind of their way of thinking about infrastructure is very old-fashioned.
So you're saying that it's not people-friendly. That's the point. Akshay Marathe.
If it was people-friendly, then you would not have these scenes.
Okay.
While Sanjeev Verma was speaking, you would not have these scenes on television of people grappling with this severe flooding in Delhi.
Okay, these scenes have been seen, to be fair, for the last 40, 50 years.